Can you hear me? Well, we have feedback. Let's see what's going on. Can you hear me? Okay, can you hear me now? Put a one in the chat room if you can hear me now. May have some echo. Mic check. Okay. You hear echo? Do we hear any echo? Any echo? I hear echo. Yeah, we had some technical challenges coming in the room. Let me find out where this echo is coming from. See where this echo is coming from, and then we'll go from there. Mic check. Mic check. Okay, can you hear me now? Still echo. Interesting. Let's figure this out and bear with me. While you bear with me, let me know where you're tapping in from. Let me know when you're tuning in from. Can you hear the underlying music? This is interesting. Mic check. Mic check. Oh, this is better. Still some echo though. Feedback, echo. Stay tuned with me. Let me go out and come back in. I'll be right back. Stand by. Stand by. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? And is there an echo? Any echo? I hear an echo now. Okay, you can hear me. Great. Fantastic. Okay. Yeah, there was an upgrade that came with the software, and unfortunately, I'm still trying to figure out the kinks. And I think I hear something in the background as well. Maybe there is a delay of some sort. Maybe I have, oh, you know what? I believe I have it on YouTube as well. That's what's going on. Got it. That's where the echo is coming from. Thank you for bearing with me. Okay. All right. All right. Fantastic. Welcome again to a transformative conversation. If you're here, it's because you're supposed to be here. And we're going to have a wonderful, engaging time where this is going to happen every Wednesday at 8 p.m. So stay tuned. Hope you join in. This is not coming to you from a religious perspective, even though it's sponsored by one incredible experience transformational center. We're not a religious organization by any means. We're here to speak life. We're here to celebrate humanity. And so, but we will meet you where you are. Fantastic. Good day. What's up, Neo? How you doing, man? Cassandra, how you doing? Janice, how you doing? Where you guys calling in from? Where you guys tuning in from? Tuning in from. And this is a conversation. So, I'll drop the link if you want to come in and talk talk about some things that are happening in your life that you may be struggling with to help you to shift from where you are to where you desire to be at. Secondly, we're going to talk about the topic tonight is Stone Mountain's in the house, Decatur's in the house. The topic tonight is, it's one question really. And again, this is not, I don't want you just to consider this question. Let me turn this down. I don't want you just to consider this question from a religious perspective. This is based upon your personal philosophy, your life philosophy. What motivates you? What drives you? And the question is, are your beliefs conditional, convenient, or both? I repeat that. Are your beliefs, the things that motivate you, your philosophy, the things that drive you, the things that undergird you, that is your foundation, that are your foundation, are they conditional, convenient, or both? Now, let me preface this question for you. Hey, Tashawn, welcome in for Snellville. Let me preface this question for you. With anything that we desire in life, we say that we desire it from a very unconditional space, right? Ultimately, that's what we desire to be. We desire love to be unconditional. We desire trust and loyalty to be unconditional. We desire for our peace to be unconditional. We desire for many, many, many different things in all capacities of our life. All capacities of our life. We desire for it to be unconditional. Okay? Now, here's the question. Even in that space with that desire, are we living that on a consistent basis? Which prefaces the question, which is why I asked the question. Are your beliefs conditional, convenient, or both? If you understand the question, go ahead and put one in the chat right quick. You understand the question? Now I'll start with me, and we can have this conversation, and I want dialogue because there's really no wrong answer here. It's only an opportunity to enhance ourselves, to grow, to be greater today. You know, I love the saying. I'm a college football fan, and I'm really been into the HBCU scene at the last couple of years, and I followed Jackson State. And one of the things that I hear the players often say, 1% better every day. Get 1% better every day, and that's the reason this conversation is happening. That's the reason we're having this discussion. That's the reason I posed this question. Joker Gaming 829 says, my love for my family is what drives me and to achieve new heights because I realize a lot more people believe in me more than I thought. Like I'm an anchor. Gotcha. Thank you, Joker. And many of us have that same sentiment, right? Here's the thing. Your family drives you. But how far do they drive you? Is their drive for you, is their drive conditional, convenient, or unconditional? Or is it both? Because sometimes it's conditional and convenient. Now let me break down those two words so that we can really frame out this discussion. Conditional means it's working. It works for me when it feels good, it looks good, everything's happening the way I think it should. That's conditional, right? Convenient means, okay, it's happening when I want it to, or I'll tap into it when I want to. You know, I'll believe this when I want to believe it, when I think it can work out for my interests. Or I'll do it until, and then go back to conditional again. I'll do it until it stops working. I'll do it until I feel like it fails me, right? And that's fair. You can do that because sometimes we are growing. We go through a process of maturation that allows that the things that we once held no longer serve our best interest, and we need to adopt something new in order to drive us to the next level, right? We complete the task, we meet our goals and ambitions. Now we get to a space and say, okay, what next? So now we have to find something else to get a new internal fortitude to drive us further, right? So let's talk about it. Let's talk about some of the basic things, the basic elements of our life that give us meaning, that become a part of our constitution, right? One of those things, love, L-O-V-E. I hear the conversations, I see the comments from people on a daily basis saying, hey, I give up on love, or love, or I love you. We like to use that word love. What does that mean, though? And I've been in some relationships, and and as I was growing up, I've been in some relationships, and I'm saying, man, this thing ain't working. It's not showing up the way you say you love me, but you do this to me. And then I begin to realize it's not that they don't love me. It's not that they don't trust me. It's not that they don't believe in me. It's just they do it from a conditional space, or they do it when it's convenient for them. Put a 1 in the chat room if you've loved something or someone when it was convenient. Put a 1 in the chat room if you love something or someone when it was convenient. Maybe it's a job. You loved your job when they were paying you well, but you didn't get that raise, so you don't love it anymore. You loved your significant other when they were serving you well, giving you what you wanted, showing up for you the way you wanted them to. But when they stop doing that, it's like, I ain't feeling you. It's time to move on to something else so I can get what I want. Better yet, let's look at ourselves. Look in the mirror for a moment. I love myself when I'm 50 pounds or 20 pounds lighter. Or when I got on when I'm putting it on. I have my makeup on, ladies. I'm smelling good, guys. Got the freshest gear. I'm stepping out, doing my thing. I love myself when that happens? Nobody? Nobody can relate to that, huh? Nobody, not one person can say, I love myself when it's convenient, or I have loved something when it's convenient. Okay. I have said that. I've said that. I've said that I've loved myself when it was convenient. I loved myself when I was making moves and I was getting the money like I wanted to get the money, uh, when I was showing up the way I wanted to show up, and when things weren't working the way I wanted to do. I wasn't really feeling myself. I wasn't really feeling the other person. Okay, we had two ones in the room. 2 ones in the room. Okay. Now, for those who just entered the room, we're having a transformative conversation here. And the conversation is based upon the question, are your beliefs convenient, conditional, or both? Oh, we got Cassandra. She said, my beliefs were conventional until you asked the question and I thought about it. I realized I have to believe even when it's not working for me. I need to believe all the time and to move forward. Great statement. Great comment, Cassandra. Now, and I'll put the chat down here too. I'll put down here too, like maybe some of you may want to come on and talk about it in person. Maybe it's better for you to talk about it in person instead of attempting to. Let me see how I do this. Type it in. You may have more to say if you want to add more to the conversation. Let's see. There's the link. I dropped the link in there for you to come into the stream and we can have a conversation about it. Now, I'm with you, Cassandra, because the reality is this. What you're saying, let me just show this comment. There we go. Whoops, wait a minute. That's I'm going to come back to you, Joe, from your comment. I like your comment too. I like your comment as well. All right. Here we go. There's Cassandra. The reality is, many of us have convenient beliefs. Many of us do. And we don't even know it until it's brought to our attention or until we read something that provides us with a greater insight. So, let's see. When it's convenient, that to me is what we call in the spiritual world faith. Now, this is going to ruffle some feathers when I say this, but what is the meaning of faith? It's the belief in something, and you hope that it'll happen, right? Hope is a very large portion of what faith is, right? Hope means you not necessarily convinced that it'll happen, but you wish and you're hoping that it's going to happen for you, right? So hope is that conditional or that convenient. Hope brings about that conditional space. When the reality is you really desire, like you said, you're working on when it's not working for you, you need to believe all the time. You want trust. Because trust is when you know that it's going to happen for sure, and you just got to put in the work. You just have to move forward. You just have to believe beyond doubt, because the reality is it's bigger than you, right? It's greater than you. And if you just align with it, it'll work out in your favor, even though it doesn't look like it's working in your favor, because everything happens for your best and highest good, even though sometimes that's hard to believe. Sometimes it's hard to believe. So yes, that's one good example. Thank you, Cassandra. All right, Joker said, both, because I can dwindle, but when I think about having a family of my own and learning from the experiences that I've learned and what you taught along with the struggles, it grows stronger. It does. Experience is the greatest teacher, Joker. You're absolutely right. Experience is the greatest teacher. We don't even realize that. Some of us think that, oh, it's just experience is just something that happens and we mature from it. Yeah, we mature from it because it is the greatest teacher. It is a teacher that there isn't a narrative or there isn't anything that it's looking from. It's not looking for anything from you. It's not looking for anything from you. It's just here to help and guide you to be the best version of yourself. All right. So both. Let's talk about conditional. Let's talk about conditional. And again, I dropped the stream in there just in case somebody may want to come into the room and have a conversation as well, because this is a transformative conversation that we're having here. And we can talk about something that may be directly affecting you, and we can just have, that's what I do. I used to be a coach. I still coach, but more of a guide now than a coach. When you move into that space of conditional, love specifically, and you can also talk about trust, because I have a philosophy about trust. People say, "You trust me?" And many times we say, "No, you got to earn my trust, man. I just can't give it away for free. You got to earn that trust." That's a conditional trust. Or we can trust you when it's convenient for us, when it's easy for us to trust you, right? But I have a philosophy. When someone asks me, do I trust them, I simply respond, yes. I trust you to be exactly who you are. And when you decide to be something different, I trust you to be exactly that. Why do I take that sentiment? Because I don't have any expectations. Expectation is the cousin of disappointment. Expectations breed disappointment. So what does that mean? If I expect you to show up a certain way, but you don't show up that way, then who's that on? Is it on the person that I expected? Is it on you because I expected you to show up that way? Did you agree to show up that way, or did I just have that expectation of you? And if I just had that expectation of you, guess what? That's on me, my guy. That's on me. So how can I be mad at you for something that you didn't agree to be? Yet, if I simply say, I trust you to be exactly who you are, when you show up a certain way that some would say that, you know what, that's greedy, that's not right. And guess what I'm going to say? That's you. I knew that when I got involved with you. Now, does that mean I need to continue to involve myself? No, not absolutely. Absolutely not. I'm not a fool. It means I see you. Stay on over there. Stay on over there. Love is the same way. How can you love someone, or how can you be loved without conditions? Easy. It's a definition for that. This came to me about 15 years ago. I was speaking in front of a group of college students in New Jersey. And they asked me, they said, how do you love unconditional? Only one person can love unconditionally, and that's Jesus. Or God, right? Because God is the author of love. That's what was said to me. And in that very moment, I received a download, and the download said, no, it's not true. You too can love unconditionally. So I'm going to give you the definition of that, the ingredient to love unconditionally. And it's this. Very simple. Very, very simple. You ready? When you allow, accept, and embrace people, places, and things to be exactly who and what they are. I'm going to say it again. When you allow people, places, and things to be exactly who they are. Then, when they change, you shift. You change. Now, wait a minute. Let's back that up. So what do you mean? So when I meet people, I just give them the opportunity to be who they are, and to have no expectations from them, and then and love them from that space. That's me loving them unconditionally? Absolutely. But that must first begin with yourself. How many of you have heard that definition before? Put a 1 in the chat if you've heard that definition before. Allow, accept, and embrace people, places, and things to be exactly who they are. Have you heard that before? Has that been something is that how you've been operating thus far? Put a one in the chat. Fantastic. Fantastic. Because for me, that's how I operate. But guess what? Now I'm going to challenge you. Do you operate that way towards yourself? Hello, good people. Knock, knock, knock. Anyone there? Do you operate loving? Do you love yourself unconditionally? Do you provide yourself with unconditional love? Put a one in the chat if you do. If you provide yourself with unconditional love, meaning you allow yourself to be who you are, you embrace yourself for who you are, and as you make adjustments, you adjust with that space, right? Put that in the chat. Because the reality is, I could be the first one to tell you, I haven't always done that. I haven't always done that. I haven't always loved myself unconditionally. I haven't always allowed myself to be who I am. I've had these expectations. When things don't happen, when I feel like I'm supposed to be better than where I am, supposed to be further than where I am, make more money than I've made, when I'm supposed to be more active, and maybe even my health is supposed to be in a better, more healthier than I'm supposed to be, or more fit than I'm currently being, then I become judgmental of myself, which is the equivalent of loving myself conditionally. Also, loving myself when it's convenient. I don't know if that hit somebody or not, but it was meant for someone. Because the reality is, we all strive to be better than what we are. Some of us are in relationships that we feel like those relationships are not honoring us. We feel like we're supposed to be in a better experience. Some of us are in relationships, we've been there for a long period of time, and unfortunately, it's not giving us what we want. We're not able to get the ring for some reason, and we want to point the finger at the other person. Well, I'm here to tell you a secret. Are you ready for the secret? Here it is. Many times it's not about the other person, because they're in your life to be a reflection and a lesson for you. Did you hear that? I'm going to say it again. Many times it's not about the other person, because they're in your life to be a reflection and a lesson of and for you. Meaning, the reason you haven't obtained the things that you desire to obtain is because you may be out of alignment with those very things. How are you out of alignment? Because you want something different other than where you are. Conditional belief system. It's misplaced you. It's got you off track. Your GPS is going haywire. Reroute, reroute, reroute. This is comment. You see, Joker, only from you, but I can't say I always listen. But it hit at the right time. There it is. There it is. I just realized who Joker is too, by the way. All right. Comment from Cassandra. Boom. I've heard it before, but that's not how I am. I expect things from people, then when they aren't that way, the way I want them to be, I get upset. Well, here's the question, Cassandra. Who are you upset with? Who are you upset with? Are you upset with them? Or are you upset with yourself? Because again, did they agree with you? Or did they agree to meet your expectations? And secondly, did you communicate your expectations to them? Because sometimes you can't even agree to something that you don't even know that's available. That you can't agree to something that you don't even know exists. So did they agree? We have a conversation here. Transformative conversation. Stream is in. The stream is there in the chat. You can chat it, tune in, and let's talk about it. We're discussing. We're discussing. Are your belief systems conditional, convenient, or both? All right. So Joker comes back in again and says, I feel a lot of people put expectations on us that they want to achieve, but everything has a time and place. And before we get there, we must be prepared. But that part is forgotten, aka the process. Absolutely. There is a process, there's a journey in each of our lives. And yes, people will have the expectations for you to move faster on that journey or at their speed or where they think you should be at. But that's a challenge for you, Joker. The challenge for you is, one, to go inside of yourself and see if you are preventing yourself from moving at the pace that is available for you. Or two, are you on the right pace? Are you on the right track? That's for you to get the understanding. Because sometimes we can become lethargic and get in our own ways. Not saying that's who you're being, but that's what we have to, as we grow, as we get a better understanding and take control of our life, we'll understand that that's a part of our process. We have to do a check and balances. Now, with that being the case, thirdly, the other part of that challenge is, do you concede to the expectations of others? Or do you remain authentic to who you are and with the understanding that you're going to arrive there at the perfect place and time? Are you connected, truly connected to your process, or have you moved away from your process? Now, I'm going to drop a word. It's 3 letters. I'm going to drop it in here. I want y'all to hold on to it. We're not going to discuss it yet, but I want you to hold on to it. So when I said, are you connected to your process, or are you disconnected? Are you misaligned? Are you unavailable or unaware of what your process is? Here's the word. You ready? It's spelled EGO. Ego. We'll talk about that in a moment once we address this comment. Also, please like, share, and comment. Well, see you guys comment, but like and share as well with your friends and others. This is also be on. This is recorded, so you'll be able to follow back up with this information and go back and review it as well. Cassandra says, it's normally them, but you're right. I should be upset with myself for assuming they were going to be a certain way. Convenient. Well, I'll push back, Cassandra. I'll push back. You ready? You getting upset with yourself is also conditional. Why? Because you're not allowing, accepting, and embracing yourself as you are. You made a mistake. Mistakes are good. You know why they're good? Because it gives you the opportunity to learn. It gives you the opportunity to excel, to evolve. So that's my challenge for you all. And guess what? That word came up again. Ego. 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 Opportunity to evolve and love ourselves unconditionally. We don't have to beat ourselves up. It's counterproductive, really, when we do that. We just have to give ourselves a break, love ourselves unconditionally, provide ourselves with the covering of grace, We're going to make mistakes. For those out there who think that you're not supposed to make mistakes, I am sad for you. You know why I'm sad for you? Because you'll miss out on the blessings of the lessons. Without the mistake, there are no lessons. Without the mistake, there are no blessings. So you have to avail yourself, allow yourself to fall down so you can get back up. And if you fall down, fall face up. Look up. Because if you look, by looking up, you get the opportunity to see what's available for you. All right. I dropped the word. EGO. Ego. Everybody type the word ego, EGO, into the chat. Type ego. EGO. And that's a popular word that society uses, right? Popular word society uses. Society likes to say, especially to the men, oh, there he goes, he's all in his ego. Or we like to say, oh, there they go, they're all in their feelings. All in your feelings, huh? Well, let me help you understand the word ego differently. E, edging. G, God. O, out. Edging, God, out. What does that mean? Anytime you are in a space that you're misaligned, you're operating out of your ego, meaning you're operating outside of your divine space. You're operating outside of your divine alignment. Whatever you may call the entity and energy that you know as God, you're operating outside of that because you're edging God out. When you go out and make a decision that you say, you know what, I'm going to do what I want to do, how I want to do it. Okay, that's fine. You have every right to make that decision. You know why? One of the first gifts that was given to us by the Creator was free will. Gave you the ability to make your own decisions. So, with that being the case, guess what? Not going to stop you, but it gives you the opportunity to fall down, to bump your head, to make mistakes, so you can learn from it. Ego. It's like a navigation system, right? We've all been in the car. We've all gone down the street. And our GPS may say, reroute, wrong way. Or may say, traffic up ahead, or accident up ahead. So, you know what? My exit's only right up there. I'm going to take that way. I'm not going to reroute. But then you end up in traffic for 20 minutes waiting to get past that accident. When you could have just rerouted and got to where you wanted to. Ego. Edging God out. You reroute it. You reroute, you get to where you need to be. Back in alignment. You're back in alignment. So the question is it more important for you to be right? Is it more important for you to be right, or is it important for you to be aligned? Is it more important for you to be right or to be in alignment? Because here's the thing, what we don't understand. Many of us, I'm going to put one in the room for that one. Many of us have this tendency, this desire to want to be right. We want to be right. We want to have right now. We want things to move the way we want them to move, how we want them to move. That's our ego. When the reality is when you're in alignment, that means whatever the GPS say, reroute, you reroute. And that's helping you. That's giving you a perspective from 30,000 feet. That's allowing you to see all your opportunities, all of your options. Allowing you to see the road mines and the things that may slow you down ahead. But if you are content on being right, doing what you think is right, then you're going to be misaligned. So yes, operate out of free will or trust the process and be in alignment or be in the will of your most high, your divine self. Okay? Another comment. I've learned to let my pride go because in order to learn, we must be comfortable being uncomfortable, stepping out and getting different perspectives to expand the mind. Great job, Joker. You're absolutely right. How many of us can be comfortable with being uncomfortable? Like right now, I'm in my beautiful jacket. Can you see my beautiful? Let me take this off here so you can see this beautiful jacket. You see my beautiful jacket? Fits well, right? I didn't have a pocket square, and I changed that. Fits well, right? Looking dapper on it. But guess what? It's warm in my office. But just because it's warm doesn't mean I'm going to take my jacket off. Why? Because I'm uncomfortable. I'm comfortable with being uncomfortable. Can you honestly say for yourself that you're comfortable with being uncomfortable? Can you say that you're comfortable not knowing how something may show up in your life, when it may show up in your life? Whether it's a significant other, whether it's a certain paycheck, whether it's a bill being paid, whether it's a new car, whether it's a much needed vacation, a new job. Can you be uncomfortable? Can you be comfortable without knowing that? Because that's an uncomfortable space, right? It's uncomfortable. We, especially here in the Eastern, in this first world, we like everything right now. We in this right now society. We in this right now society. Because right now society, we want things to happen right now. Right now. We especially since we learned the law of attraction, and law of attraction is something that's very prevalent in our lives. We want things to happen right now. I want my husband right now. I want my wife right now. I want this job, my perfect opportunity right now. We go out and play the lottery because we want to get rich right now. We want to be able to purchase a house right now. Well, all these different things right now. When the reality is it really the best time for us to be able to realize that, one? And secondly, are you even aligned with the things that you desire right now? Again, this goes back to the idea of our belief system. Is it conditional, convenient, or both? Because we want it right now. If we don't get it right now, that means we don't really believe in the law of attraction. Like we say, we believe in the law of attraction. It was convenient for us to believe it as long as it's happening right now. As long as we're able to get out there and do the magic and make things shake. Right now, it's good. We believe in the law of attraction. But let one snag happen, like, oh, it's not happening. Something's wrong. We're beginning to doubt things. We're beginning to doubt things. What's happening? Yes, I'm those blessings. It's important to be aligned. Anytime we're misaligned, we're missing our blessings. We're missing our opportunities. It's important. Greetings, love, survive. We must believe it's happening. Guess what? You're right. You can believe it's happening all day long. But do you know what believe really means if you break it down to its root? It means, let's say it like this. We must be life. Be life. Be alive. I challenge anyone. I challenge all of us. Here's the challenge. Can you be the very thing that you desire? Meaning, I'm hungry, but you see someone else asking for food, right? Can you provide them with the food they're asking for? Because if you can provide it for them, you have it. You may not want what you have, but you have it. Can we believe? We must believe that is happening. I agree with you, but let me urge you, let me nudge you a little bit further than just your belief. There's a passage written in the Bible that says, I can't remember exactly what the scripture is, but it said, if God is for you, then who can be against you? I don't really like that passage, and I'm going to tell you why. It's the first word, if. What does if mean? Is not if derived from a space of doubt? Here's the reason why I push back and I say, as God is for me, who and what could be against me? That means now I don't just believe it, I trust it, I know it. So love survive. I say, instead of saying we must believe it's happening, let's say we must know it's happening. We must trust it's happening. That way, we don't have to leave room for doubt. Does that resonate with you? Yes. Yes, Neo Anderson. Possibility equals if. If. If was a fifth, we'd all be rich, right? If was a fifth, we'd all be drunk. If. So we ain't gonna operate if, we're gonna move in the space of saying as God is for us, as the Creator is for us, as the universe is for us, as everything is working in our best and highest good is for us. What can be against us? We must trust the process. We must believe. Instead of believing the process, we must know that the process benefits us. It benefits us. Benefit begins with the word, 2 letters, be. Be. We must become the thing that we desire. We'll talk about that in future conversations. Another wonderful comment. Can we touch on spiritual work so that we don't carry it to the next generation? A lot of times we neglect work and fix things, and our children end up having to deal with it or break the cycle. Great comment. Great comment. You're absolutely right. Many times we ignore certain situations. And because we ignore it, we don't fix it in ourselves, we automatically transfer it to our children, to the next generation. It's not a curse per se, even though many times we want to think of it as a curse. It's not a curse. As I love how you just eloquently put that, we transfer it. Our children end up having to deal with it. So it means we transfer that to our children. Instead of us neglecting to deal with it and breaking it and changing the mindset. Because when you change your mindset, now your children end up doing and being exactly what they see you. They emulate you, right? Now I know there's a generation that some of us grew up in, and some of us may still be articulating to our children, do what I say, not as I do. Don't do what I do what I say. I know better. I know best for you. You think our children are really listening to that? You think the next generation is really listening to that? If anything, what they're doing is judging you. Now, what does that do? If they're judging you now, they have to go through an experience of experiencing that for themselves. They have to go through a process where they have to experience it themselves in order for them to be more empathetic to what you are going to, so that they can realize love in a very unconditional space. They can realize love in an unconditional space. Remember, condition. Realize love in a very unconditional space. Now, they can break the cycle. However, why do we want to delay that process when the reality is our responsibility is to ensure that the next generation is better than we are? The next generation has opportunities and advantages that we don't have. So we can choose to continue to do things the way we want to do it and stunt their growth, or we can be the change we desire to see. Great one, Joker. Neo, possibly if. Love Survive, agreed. You often said to trust. It took me 6 years to understand. Trust is not an easy lesson. Look, there's levels to it. And I congratulate you for the time that you took. You've invested in yourself to move from the space of to the space to trust. You know, it took me a minute. I've been in the wilderness, literally in the wilderness, not in, I won't say in the woods as we think of the wilderness, but I'm in a different city where I know no one. I have no relationships there. I have little money. And all I can hear is, I brought you here to trust. And even in that space of trusting, I still struggle. Even though I've evolved and I have a greater understanding and I've mastered certain things, I still struggle. Because there's different levels of trusting. Even this conversation is a process of me trusting. You know, I often say that I had an amazing year in 2021. Had an amazing financial year. Off the charts. 22, not so good. Why? Because I refused to trust. I wanted to do things the way I wanted to do it. I wanted to continue to operate in the space that I was operating that yielded me the wonderful abundance that I was experiencing. Yet, there was a lesson in it. That was provided to me, one, to give me a buffer to transition to be here. I had all this equipment 2 years ago, yet didn't move on it. Didn't do anything. Watched everybody else grow and flourish and do their things. And I just sat back and rested on my laurels. People were telling me, we need to hear your conversation. We need to have these conversations. We need your voice to be present in the conversation. Yet I remained quiet. I didn't want to do it. I just wanted to make money. I wanted to make sure that my family was comfortable. I wanted to make sure that I was comfortable to be able to experience the life that I desired to experience. So trust. Even in that space, when you go without, when things appear to be lackluster, to be limited, there's a trust capacity. See, many of us think that we get the things that we desire. We arrive at a certain level that we made it. But we don't realize that there's a trust in that space as well. You have to evolve in that space to trust as well. So kudos to you, Miss Love Survive. I'm proud of you. Let's continue to evolve. So where are we? As we stated, we're live on many platforms. Facebook. We're live on YouTube and Instagram and Twitter. Live on all these platforms. Please go and check us out. I actually had, funny enough, I had all these wonderful banners set up so that I could show my social media stuff, but unfortunately, couldn't get them uploaded. It's all good. We'll make sure we happen again. But yeah, I enjoyed you guys. And is there any other questions that you may have? In the meantime, if you have any other questions or concerns, you can put them in the chat, or you can even come on. I'll drop the link again for you to come on. Let's have a conversation. Or we can go ahead and make our exit. We've been here for about a little over an hour. I appreciate the time that you shared with me. But also, in the meantime, go over to Instagram. First of all, Facebook. We have 2 groups in Facebook. We have a page, which is the One Transformation Center page. Stay tuned on that. We have wonderful, wonderful events and opportunities coming up. On Sundays, we want to do a Transform My Life series. On Sundays, Transform My Life. That is going to be amazing. We'll have people come in and give some insights. We're going to have a conversation about transformation. It's going to be amazing. I hope you don't forget. I hope you don't miss out on that. It's going to be on Sunday mornings from 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. What's that? 7 a.m. Pacific. Yeah, Pacific. Also, go over to, so you have that one. Then you also have on the group, Transform My Life group. Transform My Life group. We're engaging and entertaining each other and challenging each other to be better, 1% better each and every day. Go ahead and join us over there as well. Then you also have on Twitter. We're on Twitter as well. You can see me on Twitter as Samuel Crumby Jr. Samuel Samuel Crumby Crumby Jr. Go there and we're engaging over there as well. What else we have? If you're on YouTube, please like and subscribe to YouTube so you can see, push the notification bell so you can see the things when we come live. The schedule of things we're going to be here every Wednesday, having these kind of conversations, different subject matter, but the same conversation, same transformative conversation. All right, we're tuning in over there at YouTube as well. Also, we're going to do a morning. Some of you guys have been with me for a while, so you remember when I used to do the morning manifestation calls. Put a chat. If you put a 1 in the chat, no, matter of fact, put a 2 in the chat if you remember the morning manifestation calls and if you benefited from them in any way. And then for those who haven't, I want to get some insight from you. Which time would be better? There'll be about 15-minute calls. About 15-minute calls. We're going to speak a word. We're going to do a transfer. We're going to do the oath of manifestation. Quick word, maybe a quick prayer, meditation to get us ready for a day to go out and manifest that. Put some things in the hat that we want to achieve for that day or that week. We all can spread light, speak love into it to be able to begin to see it manifest for each other. All right. What else? Yeah, that's happened too. So let me know what time is better for you, 6 o'clock or 7 o'clock. It's better for you on the weekdays for the morning manifestation. 6 a.m. or 7 a.m. is better for you. I want to get your insight. In the meantime, let me check out this comment. Go back to Joker. A lot of times I would doubt my ability due to others downing it or mistreating it because internal conflict between my higher self and I. But now they roll off like water. I'm no longer phased. Man, kudos to you, Joker, man. I'm proud of you immensely. You being who you are the epitome of growth and excellence. Keep being great. All of you, keep being great. Even though you don't feel like you're being great, I want you to remember something. Regardless of what you look like, regardless of how you feel, even regardless of how you smell, you are an extension and reflection of the Master Creator. You are an extension and reflection of the Master Creator. Don't forget that. You are greatness personified. Trust yourself and keep going. Okay? Trust yourself and keep going. Cassandra, I'm glad you dropped in as well. I hope to see you on Sunday and also next Wednesday as well. And then, you chime into the morning manifestation calls. I would love to have you there as well. Oh, I see 7 o'clock. 7 o'clock is good for Love Survive. All right. 7 o'clock, I can sleep in a little bit too. That may work for me as well. Neo Anderson, generational curses is a real thing. I don't say that out of belief, but as knowing it and seeing it navigate, transpire within my family and witness it in other families as well. I'm not going to say it is a false thing. I'd say that it is something that I believe we spend more time on the curse part of it instead of understanding that maybe it's mislabeled. And the reason I say I don't like to call them curses is because sometimes we become we become disabled by the word cursed, or the word curse pushes us away from it. We don't want to be connected with it, become disconnected. We don't want to engage with it. So that's why I say it's transferred responsibility. We see things happen in our lives, and I get it, because look, let me help you understand how much I get it. I'm a third generation Samuel. My grandfather, Samuel H., my father, Samuel L., and I'm Samuel L. Now, there is a process that has happened when it comes down to fatherhood within that space that has matriculated down to me. Now, I will not say, even though others may say, that there's no love from those parents. Like, there's no love. I disagree with that. I think my grandfather loved his children, even though he may not have showed it in the greatest way. He may not have been visible and available, present in their lives. I know that my father loved me unconditionally and loved me tremendously, even though there's some challenges that may have occurred that disabled him from being able to be present the way I wanted him to be present in my life, right? Or in my siblings' life. Me, same with my children. Now, what I've made the conscious decision to do is to be more present, to be more engaging, to be more available, so on and so forth. But here's the thing that we have to realize. It's still an internal process that we have to go through that was transferred to us, that we have to fix, even though those before us may not have fixed it. And if we take the premise of it being a curse, then we find a way to fix it outside of ourselves. Maybe use some magic, maybe try some things that aren't within us, when the reality is the true fix exists within each and every one of us. The true resolution exists within each and every one of us. I've seen alcoholism. I've seen drugs. I know people who've gone through generations of prison. It could be a curse. You could think of it as a curse. But also it could be you not paying attention to the lessons of the previous generation and not making a different decision. I can say that because I've witnessed that as well in my family as well as others. So the beautiful thing about, and this is why I say that we really want to look at our personal philosophies, when we look at our personal belief systems. And we really want to understand, are they conditionally based or are they conveniently based, or both? Because if we continue to ignore and transfer, meaning if we continue not to take personal responsibility for the things that happen in our life, for the decisions that are made and the decisions that were made prior to us, then we cannot have the power to make the adjustments. I'm going to say that again. If we continue to ignore, and if we continue to push away, and to refuse to take responsibility for the challenges that have occurred in our lives, whether they have occurred in the previous generation or our current generation, then what has happened is we give our power away. And then we wonder why we feel disempowered. Or we wonder why we feel like we don't have any control. We wonder why we continue to go through the cycles over and over and over again. The definition of insanity, according to the great philosopher, says, when you continue to do the same things and expect a different result, that's insanity. Again, when you continue to do the same things and expect a different result, that's the definition of insanity. So if we don't want to be insane, we have to make different decisions. And that means that we have to learn from our experience. We have to allow experience to be the greatest teacher. We have to take personal responsibility for the experiences that are happening in our lives instead of blaming it on happenstance, blaming it on other people, or looking for a quick fix instead of doing the work, the intrinsic work. So I challenge us all. Let's take personal responsibility for everything that happens in our life. Even though it feels like it is not even your fault. I love to give you personal examples. For those who may know, I have been married before and I've been divorced. I divorced. And I took personal responsibility for that marriage. One, I took responsibility because I married her knowing that I wasn't supposed to marry her. However, I didn't have the courage to say no, to stop it. So who is that on? Is that on her? Absolutely not. That's me. That's on me. Two, I stayed in the marriage because I wanted to be, I did not want to be a statistic. That also is on me. Because I had expectations of something that the other person didn't agree to. Thirdly, I said I created the environment for said wife to act and to have experiences that she had. I did. These are hard tasks. These are hard things to believe in. 1 second, man. I see you there, Jacob, man. Hey, welcome, Jacob. I see you. I'll get with you in just a moment, man. It's one thing that I had, it was difficult for me to understand, to learn, because I, being the man, and this being the relationship that I choose to participate in, I agreed for things to happen the way they happen, whether it was consciously or subconsciously. So, if I don't take responsibility for it, then I don't have to repeat those processes and those patterns. I choose not to. I don't want anything to do with that. I don't want to feel that pain anymore. I don't want to feel those experiences anymore. I desire to move on, have healthy, vibrant experiences. So in order to do that, I have to own the entire thing, even though it may not feel like it was my fault. Put a 1 in the room if you understand what I'm talking about. Before I come to you, Jake, let me get this message out real quick, man. It says, why is it when we elevate that people sometimes can't recognize us as the person we are? They treat it like we changed identities, but all we truly did was get closer to our true selves. When you elevate, sometimes there's no room for other people. Hear me. When you elevate, you become a stranger. So there's no room for other people. So they're not going to be able to recognize you. And that's a good thing. That means you're growing, you're evolving. You cannot stay in the same company. If you're staying in the same company, that means you're just doing the same thing that you were doing before. If they are able to recognize you, that means that you have not adjusted, you have not evolved, you have not elevated. But simply because you've elevated, now you see the results of your action, the results of your of your investment. That you see the return of your investment of yourself. So kudos to you. Don't feel sorry about that. Don't worry about what other people may think. Stay focused on what it is that you're working towards, that you're here to achieve, and keep moving, and allow yourself to be surrounded by people who see you and meet you where you are. Like the wonderful movie Avatar says, I see you. And if you can't see me, I'm in the wrong room. Get to the door as quick as possible. Because your blessing's not in them. Don't try to make anybody see you for who you are. Go to the place where you are to be seen. Go to the place where you are to be known and not tolerated. All right. Good brother. Good brother Jacob, man. How you doing? How
What's
you
going
doing,
on?
brother?
Doing good. How about yourself, my man?
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
fantastic.
fantastic. Fantastic.
Hold on, we got a little
Well, we got a little
feedback.
feedback.
Oh yeah, hold on. Let me. I had you in my Bluetooth. Hold on. Try this. Is that better?
Yes, perfect. Good stuff. How you
There we
doing,
go.
man? What do we owe, man?
Doing great. Doing great. Yeah, I was just wanted to come in, just say hey, appreciate you, and enjoyed the message tonight. Sorry, my voice lost my voice a little bit, so
Hey, man, I appreciate you, brother. For those who don't know, Jake and I, man, we go back. We go back
way
to when
back.
he before he was in diapers, man.
Right.
This is a talented musician, man. This is a talented brother, man, who has endured a significant amount, but yet he still keeps moving. He still keeps pushing forward, and I'm proud
Yes,
of you,
sir.
brother.
Appreciate that, man.
You got any
I thank
questions,
you.
man? You just had a comment.
Yeah, I was just coming in just to say I appreciate you. You know what I'm saying? You're showing some love.
Man, thank you, bro. You know, your love always means tremendous amount to me.
Yeah, 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 man. And I'm gonna be so you say every Wednesday night um on this stream, and then you got some going on Sunday at 10 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah, on Sunday, 10 o'clock in the morning, we're going to be streaming here alive again. Transform My Life is going to be the topic. It's going to be the series for that. Transform My Life series.
Oh, okay. That's a bet, man. That's a bet, man. I'm gonna try and be a part of the your community and check you out. Support. That's what we need. Support and see this thing grow. I it's gonna grow and keep and continue growing.
Absolutely, man, bro. I appreciate you tremendously, man. I love you. Give your family my love too, man. And continue to, we're going to connect.
Yeah, yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Until later, man.
All right, my man. You take care.
All right, all right. Yes, Joker come up and said, man, you know I love this man. So look, y'all, let me tell you about Joker Gang. Man, this is a young brother about 20 years old. Yeah, 20 years old. And man, he gets it. Y'all see that? Intimacy equals into me see. Y'all get that? Intimacy equals into me see. He's 20 years old. He gets that. I didn't get that until I was 30. Come on, y'all. Put two in the chat room if you were with me. You didn't get that until you was later too. He's 20 years old. He gets that. I didn't get that until I was 20, until I was 30. 10 years later. That's the power of our youth. If we put them in the right position, if we educate them, if we give them the room to expand, let them fall down, but at the same time be that support system as they get back up. Keep speaking life into them. So many times we're speaking death into our youth when the reality it is life what they need. We make mistakes. We needed those mistakes to become, and those mistakes were very vital to who we have become and who we are becoming. So let's make sure we speak life into each other, speak life into ourselves, and that's exactly what we do on a transformational a manifestation, morning manifestation calls. We speak life into each other, speak life into ourselves. We give ourselves permission to go forth for that day, to be great, to realize the opportunities that are available to us in that very moment, staying present to the gifts that await us, that are awaiting our alignment. Because many of us don't understand that the things that we desire also desire us. The question is, are you aligned with it? And we're going to talk about that too. Oh, that might be the next call right there. That might be the next call right there about alignment. Yeah, I think we've said it enough time You may have to talk about that. Attraction. Attraction. Yeah, I think that's what's going to be, attraction. Are you attracting the things that you desire? Hey, we don't have to get into that. You like that topic? Go ahead and put it one in the chat room if you like that topic. Are you attracting the things that you desire? I'll tell you how to. I'll tell you how to reframe that conversation, how to put yourself in the driver's seat, in the position of power. If you like it, we'll talk about that on next Wednesday if you want to. All right? Fantastic. Again, please, before you leave out, like, share, and subscribe to the YouTube. If you're on Facebook, like this, share it. Share the conversation will still be available even after this call ends, so that other people may be able to be blessed by it, however you have been blessed by it, if you've been blessed by it. Secondly, I also want to provide the opportunity for you to give. If this has blessed you, in any way, make a contribution. Appreciate a contribution from you to the Cash App. Not begging you to do it, but if you're led to do it, if you're motivated to do it, go ahead and make a contribution to the Cash App. The Cash App is, I'll put it in the chat too, is Samuel Crumby Jr. I believe that's what it is. I think that's what it is. But it's Samuel Crumby Jr. Let me go ahead and do that right. $, Samuel. I don't even know how to spell my own name. How about that? Put it in the chat for me right quick. Yes. That's the Cash App. If you're compelled to make a donation. See, I don't usually ask for this stuff. However, I'm being obedient. So if you feel compelled to make a donation, go ahead and do so with the Cash App, Samuel Crumby Jr. And I greatly appreciate you in advance for blessing me and allowing me to be present and available to bless you. Everything that you send is going back into this movement, going back into these opportunities in these series, so that we can continue to provide you with this content that will help you transform your life, that will continue to drive transformative conversations, that will continue to provide content like Transform Your Life, morning manifestation calls, so on and so forth. So we appreciate you tremendously. All right. So again, don't forget to go and subscribe to the social media. On Twitter, Samuel Crumby Jr. On Facebook, Transform My Life is the group. The page is One Transformation Center. Ooh, there's some things coming up about that center that I can't wait to show you. I had to have a conversation with the creator. I had to have a conversation with the ancestors and say, listen, I know I've been doing this thing on the virtually for a minute. It doesn't satisfy me. I need to be able to touch people in person. I need that face to face, that feel the energy of people. And I've asked, and it's coming to fruition. So stay tuned. You're gonna see more. We're gonna do some things in person, connect, and really engage. So, all right, YouTube. Here I am, Samuel Crumby Jr. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Pass this on to other people. Bless somebody else's life as you have been blessed as well. All right. No further ado. I say good night to you. Good night, Cassandra. Thank you for showing up. Joker Gaming, thank you for coming in. Most blessings. Thank you. Love Survive. Thank you. Who am I missing? Neo Anderson. Thank you. Tashana Cherry, thank you for coming in and joining me. I'm trying to go through all these and see all the names, but in all who didn't come in the chat room, we thank you and look forward to seeing you next time. I appreciate you tremendously. Love you immensely. Be great and remain blessed.